listen. Real life, no gimmick. You live a life with no limits. And count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute. Let them keep thinking that you're mine and let them keep talking all that shit. So we gon' have to throw the wolves to the lions. Never let them steal your fire. I got truth for you, listen. Life's no gimmick. Live a life with no limits. And count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute.
Yeah. Go and count them things up. Tap that around about 1,400 minutes. That's 2 days. It's past Tuesday. You found 2 ways to keep running with it. How many hairs on your head? How many of these other niggas dead? 2020 came with the change up. Now we at the bottom of the inning. On top, my cousin said, watch them girls from Cali. They run back to the valley. If them hills ain't smooth and it's hard to keep them happy. They say them boys from Atlanta toxic. My Turk retort is just style. Cause the truth is, half of what we do is say things that sound good or make good optics. For the gram while I'm on this topic. We the people just watch it. Envy becomes a real thing. Where all these people conceal things right in front of your sidekick. Take your cancer box and just lock it down. Cause it's hard to learn your lessons when you in it.
Count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute. Never timid, always splendid. Never scared to be different. I never let them throw my rhythm. I learned how to switch it up when I pivot. Yeah, I got truth for you, listen. Real life, no gimmick. You live a life with no limits. And count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. By the minute. Let them keep thinking that you're mine and let them keep talking all that shit. So we gon' have to throw the wolves to the lions. Never let them steal your fire. I got truth for you, listen. Life's no gimmick. Live a life with no limits. And count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute. Count your blessings by the minute.
Yo, hear me? Sam Wise, can you hear me, bro?
There's two that say album talk. There's two separate ones that say album talk.
That's not right. Well, I'm live right now. We'll worry about it later. Yo, what's up, everybody who's in the chat? We're just gonna have a nice little fireside chat with no fire about the upcoming album that's getting ready to drop very, very soon now. We have one of the producers here, Samuel Alexandre, aka Sam Wise, aka BNNY, which I will ask him about later because I never have known what that name means. But he's one half of the duo that brought this project to life through the producing and the creative artistry. And so I guess I'm going to be interviewing Sam in a kind of way when he gets his sound up. Are you there, Sam? Can you hear us? got a little bit of a Boost Mobile internet. That's okay. You know, the funny thing is that I'm usually the one that has the bad internet connection because I'm all the way out here in the sticks. But tonight it's Sam. I that yeah, I was actually going to talk to Sam about that because I think we started the project. There we go. Is he up? Can you? I think Anacanosis started in. I think we started writing it in 18.
Do
Yeah,
y'all
I can
hear
hear
me?
you, bro. Yes, sir. There he goes. Are you in the closet? Oh no, you at the dinner table. No, you at the dinner table.
Okay, I can hear you guys now.
That's great. Yo, so Patrick just asked, um, when did we start the Anacanosis project? When did we get together? Because I remember us getting together down in Nashville. I feel like it was in 2018, but it might have been earlier than that. Do you remember?
Well, we really started jumping off after Fox Fest in 2017.
Okay.
After
Yeah.
2017, after we did Fox Fest, we started tapping in, and you just started sending me stuff.
Hmm.
Just put it in my playlist, man, and just kind of just listening to it as if it's something that came out already, just to
Do
get
you remember the
familiar.
first? Do you remember the first track I sent you? Was it in
I think the first, I think so. It was a pack. It was actually a folder of a
Pack?
bunch of
Okay.
voice memos, of ideas
Mhm.
that you were starting. We started making tracks off of the voice memos.
That's right. Yes. That's right.
And
Yeah, I
it was
remember Solo
one
was
of
Inum was one of those. Solo was one of those.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. You know, the funny thing is about like stuff coming out and doing albums is like it takes years. It's such a lag in the process. Like we started this in like you said late 2017, probably early 2018, and here we are in 2022 just now getting ready to release it, you know. And I have probably written a lot of these songs back in 15, you know, or 16, you know, and here we are, it just takes time to maturate and to go through all the process, so I wanted to ask you this, um, from when we first like basically kind of got the rough outline of the project. We've been listening to this music for so long. At least that's how it feels to me. Like I feel like I've been listening to music for literally just like years. Like I probably got a good 10,000 listens in, on the album. I think so. I think I can safely say that. Like, does the album still feel fresh to you, or are your ears kind of like, okay, like I know, kind of like playing the same scale over and over again, like, or do you feel like it is still fresh in your mind?
Yeah, I could say that it still feels fresh. The I would say since the pandemic started, man, my playlist has been. Oh, can y'all hear me? Hold on real quick. Okay, I'm still there. Okay. Yeah, I would say since the pandemic, my playlist has been my friends' music pretty much.
Mm,
And your music is part of the playlist. We have some fellow collaborators that we all work with that are making music, and I've just been listening to that stuff. It's been sustaining me. And so
mm,
to make a the answer is short. Yes, it still feels fresh to me because it's still on the current playlist.
No, that's good. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest. I like during the pandemic, I like put the project down. Like I wasn't listening to it at all. Um, and like before that, I would pretty much listen to it every day while I was at work. You know, but during the pandemic, I don't know. It's just like something happened. I guess I was really frustrated about not being able to play shows and not being able to, book a tour. So to work the album. And we were planning on releases during that time, but it just nothing seemed right. So, here we are now. Let me ask you this, bro. Um, what's your favorite? What was your favorite song to work on um, during this stretch of the creation?
I got two.
Okay.
Um, the first one was the one that also started in the a voice memo, where I sent you a voice memo of just gibberish on top of the sampling.
I know what you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about.
That was a huge pivotal moment, I think, in
Yeah.
our working relationship because for the first time we were working on a piece of music or a piece of like a a, a snapshot of sounds,
You're
and it
talking
was
about. I don't want to guess. I don't want to guess. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
so it's a snapshot of a sound or of hold on. This dude is playing with my record player. No. Go upstairs, buddy. Um that we started working on, and the thing is, up until that point, the way that we wrote music, we always wrote music to like either like an instrument or
Mm-hmm.
like, us jamming together, and that's usually
Mm-hmm.
the flow. But this go round, it was like, let me just fuck around and let me just send you something with some
Yeah.
jokes on top of it, and then it turned into a spar because you
Yeah.
right back with words, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know we could do this over the internet with voice memo.
Right. 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 Yeah.
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 That's
Uh.
that's my favorite situational type, but my favorite
Mm-hmm.
to actually work on is a record that you released already called System Audio. That was a huge favorite of mine because I got to tap into the not only your mind but our fellow brother here, Cineffect. I'm not sure how he wants to
Yeah.
be referred to. Russ Schmidt, and then what's the other person? Tony Cruz.
Tony. What's what's he going by these days? Is it Tony Cruz?
I think it's
Tony.
like 000C1 underscore.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Equations, man. Yo, Patrick, do you still remember that session that we had in DC? Yeah, bro. I remember that. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, bro. That's how System Audio got its name. Um, because it was Tony didn't title it. He didn't title the track. Like really, and that's what it was. It was System Audio 1822, and I still remember that session, bro. That was such a special night. where were you just coming into town or something like that? I can't remember. I can't remember the specifics. Yeah, man. And we all just went to Tony's place in DC and just started making music. It was crazy. That was a crazy session. I'll tell you. I'll give you my um. Uh, it's really difficult to say, but Hyperbole stands out to me as one of my favorite records to
Yo.
to to work on. Um, that was another one of those like legendary sessions, like you and Red. Um, that joint was crazy, and it happened really fast. And you know, I wasn't necessarily call myself. I wouldn't necessarily call myself the fastest writer, but that record happened really, really fast. We just got to a vibe immediately, and it's one of my favorite records on the project. But that one was really fun to work on, just because it just flowed. It just completely flowed. I think if I had to pick a second one, I would probably have to say it's either I can't. It's hard to say. Either So Good or Church, just because of that same type of just the flow. You know what I mean? It just happened really fun. Church is super in my wheelhouse. Just kind of like a funk record. You know, it just make you toe tap. I can't dance, but I can tap the hell out of my feet. So, okay.
Yeah,
All
translate
right.
that
But what do you mean? Translate that.
to the audience. I'm being silly.
Oh, yep. So if we're not talking to ourselves. Patrick's telling us there's a person in our ear. You can't hear him, but he also helped with the album. He played bass on the album, but you will not be able to hear him tonight. And he just wanted us to let you know that we're not
And
crazy.
he loves you guys from the bottom of his heart.
Oh man,
Yo, let me
yeah,
ask. Can I ask something?
yeah, bro.
Do we need to post the actual YouTube link somewhere? We could post. Should we bring more people in on the stream? I got the restream link. You want me to use that instead of anything else?
Oh.
Jay. So I got a question for you, Jay.
Yeah, man.
Um, I sweet. I didn't really get a chance to bask in you guys' presence when y'all was working on church.
Yeah, man.
Um, I only caught a piece of it and I was like, dang, I gotta go. But I know that by the time I hear the end of this right here,
Yeah, yeah.
it's gonna be crazy. So like what was that like? What was I mean, I know I could speak on our experience, like just you and I,
Hmm.
working on stuff, but like what was it like working with the Red Dot, our friend?
Red Dot. That's how you say that. Okay. I was wondering how you say his name. Man, we had worked together so well. I just feel like that's one of those combinations that always goes well. Anytime, E and I are in a building, like if something good's gonna happen. And it was just one of those things we just kind of like locked into, like it was like those early 911 days. Really, like those early 911 days, it was like a lot of writing between just, you know, Red Dot and myself. You know, we were just we were studio rats, like for real. And we just kind of like locked back into that place. He picked up a bass, started playing. You know how it is, man. You know, and it was going. I started thinking of melodies. He was playing keys. Red Dot played everything on this joint. I don't think I played anything on this record.
I heard you played the one chord. Bling.
I feel like he did that. I feel like he did that. I don't even know if I did that. You know, I was just trying to get into
your bag.
into the bag, you know, just trying to find the pocket. But it was just so much fun. And that record came on the last day that I was in Nashville. I think later that same day I had to get on a plane and fly back to Maryland. So it was like some urgency, you know what I mean? It was like kind of a rush to work on there. It's like, okay, let's see if we can finish one more record, you know, or get something started before, you know, I had to go back home, and we got it done. I'm so glad, you know, we were able to do that. But it was just chemistry was already there, you know. And I think collectively I've probably known you guys for what, 12 years now? Probably approaching 15 years.
2000. I met you as a British.
2008.
I think you shared your British citizenship story with me back in 2007.
That sounds about right.
Spring semester 2007. A British Jason
Yes.
fooled an entire class of people by telling them that he was from London and he was British, and
That's right.
he had the whole accent going for a while. And not only
Oh
that,
yeah, man.
anyway, I'm not going to talk about the other thing he fooled us into believing.
What you talking about? What, go ahead and say. I knew you were gonna say the hand. Yeah, I walked around. What, I only did that for like 2 days though.
A semester, bro.
I did not do that.
A whole ass semester, bro.
I fooled you with the accent for a whole semester.
This is
I
true.
fooled an entire college campus for a whole semester with a fake British accent.
It was
It was
hard.
hilarious.
It was
It actually wasn't hard. It
like
actually wasn't hard.
hard in the way the way that the young people. Oh, wait a second.
Is that the mighty Red Dot?
That's not that's not Red Dot, but that
Is
is
that Michel Andre?
that's Julia.
Julieta.
I might have hold on. I'm gonna look at these, make sure nobody else could pop in. Perfect. It's secure in terms of what levels are able to just pop in. What up, Julia? Sweet.
Yo. So yeah, I've known you since 2007. Like that's, yeah.
2007.
That's a lot of history. You know what I mean? So when it comes to creating, it's pretty simple. You know, and you know the funny thing is that there were times when we were writing it where I think all of us felt like, you know what, we're forcing it. We're forcing this record. You know, and it became, it's easier to walk away. It was really easy just to, you know, sometimes you want to press forward and be like, no, we're going to make this a song. We're gonna make it a song. It's like, no, just let it go. You know, we don't have to force it. You know, so and that was nice too. You know,
When that happens, man, it's almost like I noticed that um, whenever you hit a vibe, you don't necessarily have to even communicate with words where it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is just like in this listening mode and then reacting mode.
Are you conscious when something like that is happening, or are you operating in an unconscious way?
I'm out of the way.
So
I move my conscious self out of the way and just
okay.
allow my unconscious space to just react to what's organically happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I get in the way and I try to like make it be what it is just not.
Let me ask you this: how do you prepare yourself for moments like that? Is there
Like
something that you do you
information.
program? Are you programming yourself consciously so that when a vibe comes along, like your subconscious takes over, your unconscious self takes over, or this is just something that's innate within in you? It's just something that just happens that you don't have to practice.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. So something I learned from a fellow collaborator, Andre Walden. I shouldn't have said his full government. Michel Andre. Is that when you have a practice, so people a lot of times people use the word practice and it sounds like a chore.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm realizing in that word is it's something that you engage with on a regular basis. That's a part of, like, I guess you could say, a routine. And so I've
Mm-hmm.
I've been realizing the more I create a routine or a practice around a specific skill or skill set, when my brain goes on autopilot, amazing things happen.
Yeah.
Because it's like every step, like one of the things that I wanted to get good at doing was being able to take a simple noise oscillator or an analog oscillator and being able to just turn it into something interesting quickly.
Yeah.
That doesn't come unless I'm constantly engaging with that craft and just like having a routine of going through that process of getting
Yeah.
sound and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like hopefully that answers the question.
Nah, I think that's a perfect answer to the question because I I wonder often how, and we're not strangers, with each other, but I mean, all of us have, written and been in sessions with other people and had successful sessions with other artists and stuff like that. And sometimes I walk away thinking like, man, how did that happen? Did we just luck up there? And I'm realizing it's like, no, it's like,
You
I
got it
write,
away.
yeah, oh, yeah, but there's something in the tank to be pulled from, you know,
Yeah.
um, uh, inspiration. Some people look at it almost like a god descending on you, or like a god blessing you, like God's like blessing you with inspiration, or some sort of entity blessing you with inspiration. But that those things come um, after the tracks have been laid,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
and like it. I just think that when you get multiple people in the same room who have been laying down tracks or have been putting in work on their own, you create an environment that is just right
It's
for some.
combustion.
Yeah, that's the perfect word.
It's
That's
it's
exactly
it's
what it is.
definitely combustion. Like we're all tapped. To me, what you're saying is we're all tapped in. We all have familiarity with the source, and we all. Oh yeah, flip your camera to the side now. Time out. We all have. Um. Shout out to the drum slanger. But yeah. Ooh, that's a good.
Oh, that's a great question.
Let's
Uh,
not use the governments though. You know them Chinese people watch.
um, what did I learn from this album? Well, just maturation is a big one. I always felt like the first project I could have waited longer to put it out. I was really eager. I'm still kind of eager now, but I learned how to wait. The other thing is that my writing style changed. If you listen to the first album, um, and this might be a pro or con, but it's just changed. The first album had a lot of layering on it. If you listen to tracks like Future, or you listen to tracks like any of the tracks really, Future especially, Life, Tyranny, anything from the first album is going to be heavily layered. Like I was still very much in like, you know, postgraduate with my bachelor's degree, and I, layering music and counterpoint and like I'm trying to apply like every device that I knew into a pop song, or into like a R&B type song. This album is more minimalist. We use less sounds, more space, and I felt like we were more effective. Giving space for the words to be the centerpiece. Rather than the musicality, which is the album's still highly musical. So I feel like I have the best of both worlds with this one. So yeah.
She's on. Oh, she's coming back. She's the door. The door of the church just opened, people. The
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm still here, bud. Can you hear me? Sorry, just getting the charger in before my phone dies. Yeah. Sam, let me ask you one of these questions. What? Oh, okay. I can't hear you, bro.
I say, oh boy, put me on the spot.
What did you least like about working on this project? What was the most difficult aspect?
Learning curve.
In what sense?
Um, just like the non-musical process of, so there's like, how like in music you got tension and release, and the most interesting kind of music is the music that has those dynamics. And so the part that I least liked but greatly learned and grew from was the tension and release of knowing when to concede, and knowing when to be stern, know,
Mm.
knowing when to give space, and when to be all up in that beard. And just finding the right balance too, and just kind of
Yeah.
letting things be what they need to be at the time. You know what I'm saying? And that was
Yeah.
is nobody. Oh, hey, good night, everybody. Good night,
Good
world.
night, Lily. Good night.
See you in the morning. But yeah, that was like the growing pains, I guess. I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but it was definitely like growing pains because it informs how it makes me a little bit more sensitive now when I'm
Mhm.
collaborating with people, to really just, be as much of a listener. Um,
Wow. Yeah, that's a good life principle.
yeah,
I would tell you one thing that I did not like is the distance, man. The
bro.
doing this, red dots in Vegas, you're in Nashville, I'm in Maryland, and you know, flying out and just like sending stuff online, and it just really messed with my workflow. And that was necessary because now I know okay, we can do it. It can be done. I can do that, but I did not enjoy that at all. I got kind of spoiled, when we were all in Alabama. It was just like, oh, I just drive down the parkway to Eric's house. I just walk to Sam's dorm room or whatever it was, or, I know, we can meet up in the music department or whatever. And we could always create anytime we wanted, practically any time of the day, you know, and that was a big change. And
Huge.
man, and I mean, I got married over the course of this album being finished. I had
Children, both.
all three of my kids
I
over
think
the course.
my son was born.
Your son
You
was born.
you actually started recording the project the week my son came home from the
Yeah,
hospital.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
He was there.
I was there. I remember that. And like, there have been so many changes, necessary, but it's a complete growing process, and wow, wow. Eric's about to have his first kid,
Hey,
you know. So yeah,
the
this album
tribe is
is
getting
just
bigger.
yeah. Now let me ask you this. Now, do you think the the process, like, it's my thinking, I'll go ahead and I'll make a statement. It's my thinking that the process going forward, now that I understand more, can be even more streamlined, like the next album, right? And as a because of everything that I've learned, during this one, you could probably do it in half the time, or even better. Um, what are your thoughts on that? Is the process, and you just have to go through it, or is there a method that can, you know, cut down, from pillar to post?
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
I think we had to, when you take the long route anywhere, it allows you to have different perspectives and different shortcuts.
Yeah,
And- and a lot of people go straight to the shortcuts and they win or they don't. But we took a very roundabout, scenic route to really see and understand like what it is that we want and how
yeah,
we want to get there. And I really feel like doing that on the front end allows us to streamline the process for the specific goal that's desired.
yeah. Well said.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's a thing of like music video, this the goal.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's a workflow process. That's
Oh,
huh.
you lost. I'm listening. I'm
I'm
still
sorry,
here.
I missed that. I feel
I'm
like
s- I'm still here. I'm listening to you still.
but yeah, no, like tailor fitting the process for the result that we
Yeah,
achieve.
yeah, man.
And
I
we definitely learned that.
yeah, that's for sure. What's your take on full albums these days? I feel like the full album's making a comeback. For a while there, I just thought like we were just gonna be dropping singles like forever, but I see more albums coming out these days. Do you have any take on you know what artists should be doing, as far as releasing music is concerned? Should they be releasing albums? Should they just be releasing singles? Should they release a song every month? Like, what's your take on that whole thing?
In the words of my fellow human being, Tizo touchdown. It depends. It it really hold on, Pat. Was that you? Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry guys. Um,
I'm listening. All right, no problem.
um, when it comes to releasing music, man, it really depends on um it really depends on what you're trying to do when it comes to engaging with the people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think for a while, a lot of creatives were conforming to a formula that gave you more of like an industry look result type of thing. And especially with like streaming platforms and distributors, leveling the playing field where anybody and their mama could release something, you know what I'm saying? The you could it really just depends. It depends on what kind of result you want. If you're in a stage in your career where yeah, you're sideways, my G. If you're in a place in your career where people just don't know you, then that there it just depends on what you want to do. If you want people to
If, am I
yeah,
good now?
looking good. Uh where was I? I think I was talking about if you're in the stage of like wanting exposure
Yeah.
and you're operating on a budget, then it's like
Yeah.
what is the most effective route that's going to give you the result of exposure? And if you have the bread and you have the resources to do an album, you could get exposure with an album. If
Mm-hmm.
bread and you have the resources to do a single, you could get the same result with a single. It just really depends on what's at your disposal and what type of goals, you have in mind.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you feel like one is easier, or it's like, do you feel like one is more tailored to audiences today? Like, do people really listen to albums anymore? Like, I just listened
Let
to.
me answer as like a non-musician,
Ooh,
Go
because
ahead,
there we
please.
go. There we go.
hear people have conversations where sometimes they're like, "Nah, that whole album didn't hit," but I listened to a couple joints. I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people find that, like, we as the public still want a full album, but a lot of times we take a lot of forms depending on how interesting they are, or how much they grab us, right? So like, Tierra Whack has still yet to put out a full album, but she did a full album. They were like minute long songs, you know what I'm saying, or a minute and a half long song.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just her thing. That was what she did. And I appreciated that. I want more from her, but I appreciate what she did. But then there's other artists who I listen to every single song on their album, and I also appreciate that. So I feel like it's a mesh of what you know your audience expects, but also what you feel like you can give the best of.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
what
great answer.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I think that's a great answer, and I
That's
I think I think so it essentially is like up to the artist to like curate the type of experience that they're trying to give out, so I like I don't know if you guys know, well, you guys probably know, I'm a huge fan of PJ Morton, and he just recently dropped his latest album, Watch the Sun, and just listening to it, like, it had to be an album, you know that project had to be an album. Like, if he was just dropping singles, it would just be like, all right, cool. But as a full work, it gives a listener everything that they're looking for, and but it's really interesting.
And then there's this
Because,
other
oh, please
music
go ahead.
between friends. And
Say
so
that again?
I found them
Between Friends.
I found them on one album, and so I went back to like listen to their other music, their older music, and I realized that a lot of their music that came before that, a lot of what they had released prior was what ultimately became that album.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, I saw singles, I saw other projects, EPs and stuff like that, and essentially it seems like they just pick and chose over time and then built this one project. So that's
Oh,
kind
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, PJ did the same thing with Gumbo. He was like touring that stuff for years, and then he like finally put it all together on one thing, and it came together.
yeah.
This is a kind of sort of tangential question, um, but I've been seeing a lot of things, and we're kind of like off into stratosphere now. But I've been seeing a lot of things about virtual musicians. I know you guys have seen this. Sam, you sent me something the other day, I think, about the virtual rapper.
FN Mecca.
Yes.
I
And I'm like, oh
need a
my God.
soundboard. I need a soundboard just for
It's happening, bro. It's happening. You know what I mean? Like, these meta spaces and these virtual rappers and everything like that. Like, can you see, like, you got kids, like when your kids are our age, when our kids are our age, like what's it gonna be like to go to a live show? Like, is that even gonna be a thing anymore? Like, where do you see music headed in the next, 30 years?
in terms of like artists and stuff.
In terms of artists, in terms of um, uh, anything, really. I mean, pick a subject. I mean, you could talk about songwriting, you could talk about live show playing, you could talk about music producing, but like, where do you see it? Like, I mean,
That's
I mean, the fact that they're having virtual rappers now, it's like, it's like, are we gonna have AI generated lyrics, from in the next 30 years, and there won't be a need for writing sessions anymore?
Nah, so I could expound on that. So that's that that story is a really interesting because it if you didn't go deeper into and do like more research on the process to getting that particular artist to come alive, I know for me it was a scare on the front end, but what I came to realize is there's still a lot of different forms of human touch that was involved for the product that they achieved, which was FN Mecca.
Hmm.
Um, the voice was recorded by a human, if I'm not mistaken, and when it came to the lyrics was AI generated, but it still had to take statistics, to like it still had to employ machine learning to
But
find.
do you think it's gonna stay like that though? I mean, this is just the beginning.
I think we're like 20 years off. Somebody might come back later and be like, you was wrong, bruh. But I think we're like 20, like in about 20 years, if we're still dumb, and doing shit the way that we're doing now as a people, I think artificial intelligence will outlearn and start to like trailblaze and break new ground. But there's a human essence that I don't think artificial intelligence will ever be able to resynthesize. They'll get really close, but there's an essence that I don't think they have to learn from us. They have to learn from our footsteps. They have to learn from our expression.
Yeah.
um, the difference to me between AI and humans is we actually experience the things that shape who we are versus they learned it. And they Oh, shout out to Davenport, man. My guy, he's on the project too, laying some of that axe ministry.
Yes, on the track 16, he was playing on
16.
16, right? Did
Yeah.
Joe play on anything else?
Joe and Joseph Davenport and the great Norris Jones.
Great North Jones, yes.
Mhm. Shout out to Norris
Yes.
Jones. That question you were saying, how is it going to affect musicians? So I could say this. I
Mm.
feel like, all right. When AOL came out, how old were our parents roughly?
They were in their 30s, late
30s,
30s before.
40s, right? Okay, I feel like there's a little bit of a fear mongering that's going on with the whole AI stuff, and
Think
I feel like that could cause us to miss an opportunity to still be artistic even when the space is changing. Um, I could definitely see a group like us putting together an artificial intelligence and feeding it what we artistically want to express.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a vehicle that can be used for, as a cash cow, or it could be a vehicle that can be used to just further push the art form and the way we express. So I think there's an opportunity there in terms of musicians being able to shape how, like, it's almost like we're raising kids. They just
Yeah.
learn really fast.
Raising the kids that are gonna take your jobs. I tend to agree with you though. Um,
That
I
conversation.
I do wonder. Everything's changing at once. Like I sometimes like when I'm going to play like at like a church service or something like that on the weekend, I think like, man, there's gonna be a computer that's gonna be able to do this one day. Like I won't need to come and play the one in the forecourt. Like they already got those things that back up the preacher. Have you seen the preacher use those?
Oh, the C dub trigger. Yeah.
They already got that. Like all they need to do is just have one of those for a praise team, and it's over, bro. I'm like, the jazz guys are next. They're gonna have a computer or some sort of. I feel like I saw something like this already in Star Wars or something like that. Like,
Oh yeah.
you
Oh
know,
yeah.
Literally telling Sam about this TV show to watch that they're going to be rebooting on, or they might reboot on Amazon. And they were doing a table read for the potential show. And they discussed the fact that the initial draft for the table read was completely done by AI. And what they did was
oh God,
the AI, all of the content, all of the drafts, all of the writings that they had done for the entire
wow,
seasons of the show, and they compiled it all for the AI, and the AI built a follow-up model, like what would happen next, the probability model. And then they started writing the new season based off of that guy's original design. That, like Sam was saying. So if you're the one who originally wrote a lot of that material, if you're the person who thought of those ideas and created that thing, then who is to say that that's not still a product of you? And at the same time, I would say that no matter how far we advance in our society, there's always a group of people who want the tape deck still. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
The
yeah,
so
analogies.
we're gonna want to hear the music, no matter what generation they're from, no matter what, you know what I'm saying, their background. There's always gonna be a group for anything that you want to put, there's always gonna be a group for it.
yeah,
Literally.
yeah. I agree. Okay, there's another question coming through.
Um, can I add on I'm gonna add on to something that Julia is speaking on. And I feel like there's nuance. Like it's gonna take a really long time for machine learning to pick up on the nuances of things.
Hmm.
We get a lot more time to observe. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure when it comes to like machine learning, when it comes to like audio to digital conversion, like taking real sound and converting it into ones and zeros,
Yeah,
there's nuance that's lost. There's certain things that can't be translated. Maybe it could be emulated, but it can't just be translated. And I feel like it's gonna take a long time for us to miss the distinctions. Like for us, like the
hmm,
lines to be blurred is gonna just take a really long time. So we got some time, man, to at the very least
yeah,
influence what the machines are learning.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. I and really, I mean, it's all tools, isn't it? So um, it's really interesting. I don't know if you guys know, but like working out of warehouses for a little while, and I just I can just see like all the applications for AI and like machines to be kind of like a aid, you know what I mean? But humans, we have a tendency to just like take things too far sometimes. So my mind can't help but to think like, we'll be on the backside of digital rappers and stuff like that. But
Once I started
I'm looking
seeing a
forward
bunch,
to it. It should be exciting. Sam's
what,
completely frozen.
am I frozen? That could be a
Am I
good thing.
frozen too?
Uh,
Can y'all hear me? Uh-oh.
ooh, ooh, okay. So we got a
Ooh.
question that came in.
Oh, he
Ash,
sound like he got that stroke sound.
what inspired some of the some of the titles
Uh-oh.
on the new project? Oh, am I breaking
That
up?
Boost Mobile.
Am I breaking up?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, Jay, what's coming through for Jay? Got it.
Oh, dang, I was frozen. I was on Boost Mobile.
That's all right. You was on that 2G. That
Okay, my bad, man.
what was the thing before 2G? QSRP or something like that?
Oh man, that was bad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna upgrade this internet or go to a cafe next time. Okay,
The
cafe.
the the question that came down the pipeline was there's curiosity. People want to know what inspired some of the titles on the new project.
Yeah. Well, in Un, man, which one should I start from? A lot of these projects, a lot of these titles are titles that come just from my first mind. Like when you finish a song, you just type it in and you just save it. It's that title. Um, Let me see. What's a good one? We talked about System Audio earlier. System Audio 1822 was just what the computer saved that song as. Uh, and we just never changed it. Like that was what the computer said. System Audio 1822 save, yes. And so we just clicked it and saved
We're
it. Like that was.
already, so
What did you say?
I said so. We're depending on computers.
Say that one more time.
Oh, am I breaking up too? I was saying we depend on computers already. Really?
Right, right. Yeah, we're already there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see here. Enun. Um, that is short for enunciate. It's just the first four letters in that, and so that whole song is talking about. It's basically like a straight up positive affirmation song. It's talking about seeing yourself in the future at your highest ideal, essentially. What you want to do, where you want to go, who you want to be with, those types of things. So it's like enunciate those things. So in so that's where you get that one from. Uh, what else has? Oh, hyperbole. Um, it's spelled Hyperbale. That's not how you spell hyperbole at all. But that's the point. It's like exaggerating. So it's just a little bit of irony. So little things like that. And yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
that
you know, um, you know, uh, there are a couple moments that I think are special on this project. One of them comes at the end of In Un. There are some lyrics there at the end where I say something like, what's it? We used to scheme on the bus. We used to talk about our dreams over lunch. Whole seasons of Bleach ain't doing much. Um, and even this song is about like projecting into the future your best version of yourself, but those bars at the end are real life bars. Like before Danae and I got married, we were singing with the aliens, riding on the alien bus, you know really cutting up, and you know, we used to go to brunches when I moved back down to Maryland. We were really going to brunches. I was really watching whole seasons of Bleach. Like that's not a lie, you know. And you know, sometimes, you know, as artists, like we can just put stuff in. You know, we just write stuff that sounds good, or you know. But I had opportunity to put some real stuff that actually really happened in there, and so I love singing those lyrics. And like when I get opportunities to perform that live, like I'm always looking for Danae at that point because I'm like, yeah, that was us, like for real, you know. So, and, you know, the other record that has a lot of significance for me is "I'm Asking You Pretty,"
Mm.
um, and that record came, you know, that came out of a depression, you know, out of a low point, you know, and I was just like, it's literally a prayer, low key, high key. The song is a prayer. It's just like, have some favor on me. Like I'm doing everything that I can. Like, can you see me? You know, will you throw me a bone? You know. So, but and I got what I was asking for. You know, life is good. You know, and so yeah, I love those two records. Those two moments really hold a good place in my heart, in my head. So yeah. A little bit mad.
Do it.
Yeah, but not the not the whole thing, just a little moment. Patrick's talking to me. He's saying, "How mad would you be if I cut to that song right now?" He has the power to play the song for you folks, uh, but he won't do that. He won't do that. Sam, what about you, man? Any significant moments that stand out on the project for you that make you want to cry or curse or throw something against the wall
Um,
or jump for joy?
man, it's a couple in there actually.
Yeah.
God Knows was one of those uh records and recordings. I remember you were here and you was on the keys and you was like, "Yo, man, I got this thing that I just been playing around with, and let me just play it for you, and then we could kind of see um
Mm-hmm.
where it goes." And one of the things I learned from one of our collaborators, Red Dot, is to always be ready, because when inspiration hit, you don't want to be scrambling to try to capture it. You want to have the track set already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, around that time when we worked on God Knows, I was just kind of like hitting my stride in understanding like production technique and recording technique,
Mm.
and experimenting with like routing and stuff, production stuff. And so it was kind of one of those opportunities to run a case study and be like, you know what? Okay, he's playing this song live and singing it. Let's manipulate and create moments while he's giving it,
Yeah.
while it's downloading. And so that was one of those moments where we did that song in one take,
Yeah.
like performance wise.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first few songs where we started experimenting with chopping vocals and
Mm-hmm.
manipulating and just doing things that are unconventional for what's in Jason's catalog. So
Yeah.
that was a moment. And then I think we had that moment for solo as well, where,
Yeah.
man, working on those background vocal parts and
Yeah,
just
bro.
all of the sonic nuances, it was just a good flowy moment, you know.
It makes me smile when I think about that because there's so many little tasty like movements that are happening in the background there. Actually, my talking about that record, Red Dot took a vocoder or is a talk
Oh
box
yeah.
solo
A, a,
vocoder joint,
a
and
talking solo, yeah.
it just it was perfect, you know. And I'm so glad, you know. There's a lot of moments on this record. What's the runtime? It's about a. You could probably play the whole album in about what, 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
I don't. I have no idea.
It's,
Actually have. I should have tallied that up by now.
yeah, me too.
Probably a
When I listen to the whole thing though, it feels like you had a good meal,
yeah.
somewhere. And when I'm listening to albums, like that's the feeling that I want to get. I'm probably gonna date myself. Every time I'm mentioning an album, it's like some old album. But like when I listen to Off the Wall or Thriller or oh my gosh, Songs in the Key of Life, um, those albums, they're meals. You know what I mean? Like they're like, some of them might be shorter or whatever, but they're fully composed through, and I feel like we did that with this project. It's
Yeah.
it's a whole idea, and I think
Y'all want to
that's
throw
what
out
I'm mostly excited to share with folks.
y'all want to throw out some of your favorite. I guess the parameters is through composed. Something that's more in the through composed and maybe less pop album that you could think of. I know I have a few that I could just
Oh,
pull up.
like other artists.
Other artists or albums that
Man,
that
Orange, Channel Orange, Frank. Like we were listening to that on the way. I went and spent a weekend with my folks, parents, and on the way up there, we were listening to that album. I was like, man, this joint is just so everything just flows, very nicely, and like I told you, like we listened to Watch the Sun. It's just a good project. Everything hits. All the right chords, all the right times. Emily King. That you remember that first project that she dropped? Not the Switch, but the first joint.
7.
Yeah, Seven. That's right. Yeah, Seven. And
There was one before that that wasn't my favorite.
there was one before that, but yeah, when she had longer hair. We won't talk about that one. Don't talk about that one. She wasn't. She was. She was. She was working up. I
She was-
listened to some of that, like the style. That's we could talk about Emily King, but like Seven, something happened on that album, and she
oh
like
yeah,
got it right. Like
yeah.
she got it right. And yeah, man, that album low key changed my life. Yeah, there's something really special about that project for sure.
How about
Um,
you, Julia? Do you have any albums that give you that type of like, okay, this is a complete body, full meal, top down, no skippables.
I mean, of course, I have some. My old school, I want to do the Jason track record. I'll go with Mariah Carey first in my head. I always loved every single on a Mariah Carey album. Like
Nice.
one, those joints always go hard, and that's pop music. That's really not something I generally get into. But my father got me into her young, and there's all it's about a meal. Like she gives you a story, she gives you like drama, she gives you, and then she just gives you voice. Like there's so much. And then emotion. I'm big into that, and Sam will tell you I've been obsessed with Moses Sumney because he has that same ability to draw you in a way that makes you never want.
mm,
Dijon as well. That album that Dre put me onto. Denisha and I became so obsessed with it that I think for like the first month after we heard it, we didn't listen to anything else.
Ooh,
wow. Yeah.
So I
absolutely.
Yeah.
when I'm listening to music, I devour that shit. That's the type of love language I am. Like I'm a devourer. Okay, so that's why I like albums. So I'm a
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the kind of projects that I want to do. That's the kind of music that we are striving to create, and that's what we were striving to do for this album, Anacanosis. Um, and shoot, and speaking about Anacanosis, I'll just go ahead and talk about the title a little bit.
Mm.
So I didn't, you know, if you remember, Sam, like during the creation of this whole project, we never talked about album title name or anything like that. It just never really came up. Um, And I think I remember when I started coming up with the name of Anachronosis, it was probably around the same time, maybe a little bit before. Around that same time I was writing I'm Asking You Pretty, I had let me see what happened. The pandemic hit, and I was just really frustrated at that time about, I was supposed to start playing at these jazz clubs, and my musician fees were getting cut in half because people attendance was down, and all sorts of stuff was happening, and I had to start working a job that I absolutely hated, and I started paying attention to what I was paying attention to, and I realized that like my self talk was really bad.
Mm.
You know, I realized that I the things I was saying to myself when I was like by myself were not helping my situation. It was making me more frustrated. I realized like I needed to change that. So I started meditating, started practicing mindfulness, and I think during this time, um, can't even really remember, but I was just looking about things about transformation, everything like that. And you know how I am with words. Um, I started looking up words for change and transformation. It was what I was going through at that time. It's like, how do I get my mind to go from A to B? And I came across this word anachronosis. It's a Greek word, and it literally means to renew the mind. I was like, oh man, that's the album title right there. And kind of like throughout all the songs on the album, I felt like it worked because you know that's what we're talking about. We're talking about uh, Solo talks about not staying in a bad place too long. Inun talks about going over the things you want. God knows is talking about you know there are these two entities that are vying for your attention. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so like I just like, oh man, this title works as a through line for the project. So yeah, it just worked out like that. So and actually since now that we have it done and everything like that, it just fits perfectly with where I'm at in life right now. Like um I've been trying to make mindfulness. Well, mindfulness is it's a daily practice for me now. And I didn't realize how much I was going through life as an unconscious, like just kind of like a ride along thing. And I think this project, along with some many other pivotal things that have happened in my life since we started it, have really like just forced me to look at myself, look at what I do with my time, what I say to myself. And so this album kind of like chronicles all of that for me. So it's really cool. So yeah, the title. There we go.
Oh, oof.
The future stuff.
Put the
Um,
question out for the people to know what you about to answer.
Say it again, bro.
So the question that came down the pipeline, what's next?
What's next
What
is
you know?
we're gonna play the heck out of this album. We are going to tour it. I have a very very special project in the tank for a very special person in my life. I and that is next as far as like albums or creating is concerned. But we want to tour the heck out of this project. That's what we want to do. We want to tour it. Um, and yeah, you know, and the next thing is the next thing. I mean, I've got a ton of music. Like literally, I wasn't I didn't go anywhere or do anything for like a whole year and a half. So it's like I have all this music. Um, I have
Uh,
all this music. I have all this music just ready to go. So we just had to figure out. Oh, and we're gonna be streaming. That's another thing. So I'm definitely gonna be on Twitch a lot more, doing a lot more live streaming stuff on Twitch, on YouTube, um, and I don't know if you guys know, if you're following me on Instagram, like I do like these short like minute songs. I call them dailies. Um, Actually, one of the songs on the album is a daily. So Solo started off as a daily, and then we turned it into a actual song. So we're gonna be dropping a bunch of those on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. So really going forward, I just looking to be more consistent, online, which is something that isn't like I don't really show my face. I don't really talk um to my audience, which is horrible. I just be like dropping stuff and I'm like, all right, I'll see y'all later. But I'm looking forward to engaging more with everybody, and so yeah, we want you guys to subscribe onto Twitch, YouTube. Just follow me everywhere. The links are in the description below down there somewhere. Um, and yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to the future. It's exciting. It's bright. Sam, you like you're about to say something.
No, I wasn't, but I can say, um, honorable mention. We got our guest in the building, a family, but guest to the stream. Uh, Imani.
Yeah,
Um,
Korea,
you
Korea.
know, our whole
Hi.
thing. mm, Our whole thing. I know with people asking. We've been trying to just build community amongst creatives and people who have like a story to tell. And Imani, our good friend Julia, is an amazing artist, super organized leader of the new generation. You know what I'm saying, of artistic people. And so just some of the things I have going on coalesce with what she got going on, coalesce with what Jay got going on, and really my biggest thing for the remainder of 2022 and 2023 is just tapping in with all of the
Yeah,
creators and just letting this world know that we got something to say, and building that community and making it strong. So
man.
keep up with us on the YouTubes. Follow Echelon the Seeker on YouTube. He got a channel going. Fox and Monocle. Fox and Monocle got stuff coming up in 2023. We had an amazing festival back in 2017, and we intend on coming back on the scene, and then to keep the community strong. We Missing Label Records has this Discord server to just continue to build and to continue to expose folks who don't know about us, to continue to expose them and shine the spotlight on the amazing talent that we're all surrounded by. So those are the plans for Missing Label Records and
Want to
Discord.
say that this was really good for me. Like, I loved hearing your answers, Jason, about idols, especially Inu, because that's one of my favorite songs, and I had no idea that that's what the title was, and like it really touched me deeply. And then to know what your like meaning was behind the title of the album, I think is really gonna hit home with a lot of people, and it definitely hit home with me. So this was really,
Hey,
yeah, I'm really happy you guys are taking the time to dig a little deeper into who you are and what you're trying to put out there into the world. So
yeah.
Thanks
thanks,
for
guys. All right, I
Yeah,
love
so
I love a good Ash listening party. Okay, the rest of it on point.
Oh yeah.
um if you would like, we're having a listening party next week. Whoever's on right now, you might have gotten the link to this listening party. If you would like the link to the listening party, please join the Discord. We will drop a link for you there. Um, And we would love to see you in the listening party. We're going to be listening to the whole album. We'll answer questions. We might even listen to it twice if it get real good. Okay. Oh yeah, we'll have Marshall Andre DJing. He'll be doing a DJ set before, so come and catch him.
Plenty of surprises between
We're
now
gonna
and
have. We're expecting to have Red Dot with us that day too. The other producer. He'll be here to answer questions. It's just gonna be a really good time. So don't miss it. So just make sure that you join the Discord, become a member. You'll be able to engage in the chat. You'll be able to talk, watch the stream, all that stuff. So yeah, just keep up with us, tap in with us, and we're looking forward to seeing you very, very, very soon. Um, yeah, so it's probably just getting ready to drop. I'm super excited about it. So
yeah.
yes, sir. All right, all right. So that's it.
Hold on, let's do a little shout
Real
out.
quick before we go, I have to ask you this. What does BNNY mean? Is that bunny? What is that?
Benoni.
That's your
I,
last name?
nope. But I'm not gonna share what it is. But if you want to
Fair.
know, if you want to know how to enunciate the combination of letters, it's Benoni.
Benoni. Okay.
Benoni.
Okay. All right. So well, Benoni, thank you. I've been calling you Samwise for years, but it's gonna be Benoni now. Benoni,
I
thank
call
you.
us too. Oh,
Yeah.
Samwise.
From Lord of the Rings. From Lord of the Rings. Imani, thanks for hopping on. Thanks, Julia. Pat, thanks for facilitating, and everybody who joined in. We appreciate you. Stay locked in with us. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. So
shout out to the Juice Tea.
Shout
yeah.
out to Whiskey. Get your shirt at the website. Hope it's still there. No,
Never timid, always splendid.
Peace and
Never
blessings.
scared to be different. I never let them throw my rhythm. I learned how to switch it up when I pivot. Yeah,
Do no gang sign.
no gang sign since we public. I don't want to throw up the wrong gang sign.